Hello, and this is Bogus Reviews, and today I'm doing another Toy Showdown, and today I'm going to be doing it with the Absorbing Man Build-A-Figure and the Fin Fang Foom Build-A-Figure Absorbing Man. Both of them are the same, and both of them are from Hasbro, but as you can see, both of them have their differences, like the differences in height, and even the sculpting and everything on them. So even though these are both made by Hasbro, they are both very different. So first I'm going to take a look at the Fin Fang Foom Build-A-Figure Absorbing Man. So first off, all it comes with is this ball and chain. And I really kind of don't like it because the chain is just gray, like a flat gray, like a concrete color, and so is the ball itself. And there's no sculpting on it, it's just smooth. You know, you'd figure there'd be cracks in it and dents from where he's hit things with it. But that really bothered me that this was just gray. It should be silver. And he really doesn't hold it in his hand because his hand, as you can see, is wide open like that. So if you put it in his hand, it's kind of just loose like that. And if you put it in this hand, it's too tight. I suppose it can work, but I suppose that one's not bad. I don't know why I didn't try it in this arm because absorbing this side. I have no idea why I never tried it in that hand. But the sculpting on this figure kind of leaves a lot to be desired. I mean, this was the only figure of Absorbing Man I had at the time, so I thought it was great. But now that I look back on it, like, his head is too small for his big body. His head could have been just a little bit bigger because his head just looks tiny on this body. And, like, for his arm and the left side of his chest where he's absorbing the stone, there's just a little bit of sculpting detail, but most of it is smooth. So, you know, it just, I feel like there should have been some more sculpting detail on it. Like, even the sculpting on this belt, it's not sculpted on, it's just painted on. And that really bothered me because I like when toys are really well sculpted, but this toy, like I said, looking back at it, leaves a lot to be desired. But I think the best part of the sculpting is his leg right here that's turning into brick. I think Hasbro did a really great job on this leg. On the leg only. No, but I think that it looks really good. It even has a lot of detail into it. It really feels like bricks. And then there's some of his right leg that's turning into brick too. So, I really like this toy, but now looking back at it, it's kind of, But it was good for its time. So now I'm going to go over the articulation. He has a ball-jointed head that doesn't really move back. It doesn't move down much either. It kind of can just stay right here, but it can move side to side. It's got ball-jointed shoulders that move out this far, single-jointed elbows, swivel at the wrist that moves up and down, and side to side. And the articulation is the same on this side except for his wrist, because it's kind of really tight like that, so it really doesn't move that much. It's got ball-jointed diaphragm that can move back just a little bit, down just a little bit, and side to side just a little bit. And he's got hips that can move out this far. He's practically doing a split, so. And he can kick forward, but you have to move his leg up like this, and then do that, and then move his knee. So it's a lot of trouble just to get him in a kicking position. And if you move it back like that, then he looks like that. He doesn't look like he's kicking back at all. Kind of just looks weird. So he can do it, but it's kind of weird. He's got a single jointed knee. He's got a swivel ankle that can move down a lot. If you, like, this ankle can only move down just a little bit, and it can't move up at all. So the articulation, like I said, leaves a lot to be desired to this figure. And here he is with this, so you can see him like that. And now I'm going to show the Build-A-Figure Sandman. I just love the height on this figure. I don't know why he's become taller in recent years. Like, this is one of the more first appearance Absorbing Man figures. And this is him recently. So somehow he's grown a lot taller. But I think Hasbro really did a great job on this Build-A-Figure. I love the sculpting on the face. And the color on the eyes is even better. I like this eye because it's like yellow. And it just makes him look mean and powerful like Absorbing Man should. And for this arm, he's holding the Wrecking Ball. He is not holding the Wrecking Ball. Now he is. And I love the detail on this. It's a dark gray with silver dry brushing over it, over the whole thing. And I think it looks really good. And Hasbro did the same thing with his arm, although it's more kind of a black with silver dry brushing over it. And then for his left arm, it's made of stone, and this is the way it should look. It should have cracks in it, it should look bumped and like have dents in it. And I think it looks really great. I think Hasbro did great with it. And he even has a separate piece in this belt right here. It's not just painted on, it's actually a separate piece. I did end up gluing this down because it kept moving up and down and up and down whenever I'd move him. Like I'd turn him this way and it'd go clear up to here. And this figure comes with even more accessories. You can remove his head and both of his arms. And he has alternate heads and arms. He's got an alternate right arm. It's made of wood. He's got an alternate left arm that's just plain. It's just normal. And he's got his normal head. Now, it's a little hard to pop on and off, but you can get it. Work with it. I think Hasbro did really great on the sculpting on this version's arms. Because it really looks like wood. It's got knots in it. And it looks ragged. I think Hasbro just did a really good job with this. And this arm is just normal. And the sculpting on this is really great. His muscles his muscles are very defined. And Hasbro even sculpted in veins in his chest. But not on his arms or anywhere else. I would have liked some veins in his arms sticking out. And compared to this figure, the muscles are there, but they aren't as defined as this one. So I like the sculpting on this one better. And I do like the face sculpt, but I'm not sure what the expression is, like the weird kind of face. I think the face expression is kind of weird. I don't remember him ever making that face in the comics, but I'm sure he probably did. And I'm going to switch it back to show his articulation. The articulation is the same with all the arms, so all the articulation is the same with the arms and the different heads. And you had to get extra figures for these extra arms, and even the Wrecking Ball, or the ball and chain. I think it's the same thing, but you had to get different figures, and I'm glad that I did. It really gives you a lot of options and a lot of display options. And it's great for taking pictures too. But so the articulation on this figure, he's got a ball jointed head that can't move back at all. It can move down. It can move side to side. He's got ball jointed shoulders that move out that much. Swivel at the bicep. Single jointed elbow. Swivel at the wrist that moves up and down and back and forth. And this one moves up just that much. And his wrist really doesn't move at all. It's because of how bulky and how sculpted it is. That doesn't bother me though. The main one that I really like move around a lot is this one because he has the Wrecking Ball in his hand. He's got diaphragm or an ab crunch. It moves back really, really far and moves up just a little bit. He's got a little bit of swivel at the waist. He's got ball jointed hips that can completely do a split. So I really like that. Although I don't know why you'd get him in that position, but he's got ball jointed hips that can move out that much. And back just a little bit. Still looks better than this one though, how you have to move his legs. He's got swivel at the thigh, double jointed knee, and he's got ball jointed ankles. So you can get some ankle pivot to help stabilize him when you pose him around. Like even in this weird position he can stand because of these ankle rockers. And it can move side to side just a little bit, but this really helps with the articulation, like even holding this. Usually figures with big accessories don't really stand. And see, he can do that. And normally, like with this figure, if you held his arms out, he would do that. So, I really like this version. And so, for the articulation, this one would win. The sculpt, this one would win. And, well, I think just honestly, this one would win everything because of the sculpting, the articulation, and the detail. This one isn't bad, but if I had to choose one, I would choose the Hasbro Build-A-Figure Sandman. Just because of all the accessories that he comes with, and the detail on it, and the sculpting, and just really everything. Although, if I have one complaint. I would have liked it if, like, his hips, like the ball joints right here, would have been all one piece. Because if you pop it off the leg, the swivel right here at the hips is where it pops off. So I'd prefer it to be all one piece because it kind of just looks a little bit funny. But that's just a nitpick. So I really don't have any complaints with this Build-A-Figure. So if I had to choose one, it'd be the Hasbro Build-A-Figure. So that was my review. And if you like this, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.